Hey guys, what's up? It's me again, Meat Puppet. Today I'm going to watch some Jordan Peterson. Haven't done one. I'm all about being daddy and gangster responsible. So let's see if our point of views click. Because I think we click. But let's see.
One of our guests of the day, the other one today, is a man you may recognise or maybe you don't. Jordan Peterson has achieved that rare feat, becoming a global superstar academic. So how did he become so well known? He first came to national prominence in Canada in 2016 in a debate about new laws on gender identity. Bill C-16 made it an offence to refuse to call someone by their chosen gender pronoun. Jordan Peterson argued that this would infringe free speech, while some supporters of the bill said he was advocating prejudice. From there, his YouTube star took off, and he has now over 1 million subscribers.
That's where I met him.
And his videos, where he talks everything from identity politics, which we've touched on, to the Bible, to Disney movies, have been viewed over 150 million times. Gosh, that's about the same number of viewers we have on this programme. Last year, he supported ex-Google employee James Damore, who had been fired for suggesting men and women have different interests due to biological differences. And his latest book, 12 Rules for Life, has taken him on a global tour promoting his ideas, and just this week he sold out the 1,000-seater Emmanuel Centre around the corner here in Westminster. So Jordan, you've done endless interviews. You've been publicising your book, and they've generated plenty of heated debate.
No, actually sold out the Apollo. It had 5,000 seats.
All right, stop boasting. Do you think, though, because of the heat that has been generated, that your views have been misrepresented at times?
Oh, definitely, but that's, that's part and parcel of the process. I did take a very forceful stance, let's say, against some of the excesses of the radical left wing.
Finally, somebody did it. I was tired of this. I was tired for years. There were so many things that I wasn't allowed to say just so certain people can feel safe. It really bothered me because I realized it wasn't that I could do it to help you. It was something that I had to do permanently. That's what bothers me. It's not a solution. It's like you keep wounding yourself and you keep bandaging yourself. And I'm like, stop wounding yourself. There comes a point you have to stop. But you can't always complain somebody is wounding you. You need to learn how to dodge. That is life. These people, I don't think they can survive a disaster. For me, as a kid that lost a mom at 6 years old and I had to survive, when you don't know how to survive, something happens in your body, physically and mentally and spiritually. None of these kids have that. I can't imagine a kid that's almost like 16, 25, and when things go bad, the first thing they want to go is, rah! It's my human right. Man, you might believe that, but I don't believe you have any human right. You want human right, you gotta earn it. Okay? At a certain level, at least. I mean, I know certain people are in a disadvantage, but not everybody. At least those that I don't agree with.
Wingers, and it's in their best interest to paint me as somehow a figure of the extreme right, because then I don't have to be contended with. But, I mean, it's easy for people's views to be oversimplified in a very large public debate.
Yeah. Imagine what's happening right now with him, right? It happens also to the feminists. I know there's some good feminists out there, but when I meet a bad feminist, I have said before, damn, you're just like all the feminists. That's a wrong thing to do. But I had a hard pass with certain ladies, old and young. You guys can be kind of aggressive, but I know not all of you are the same. But whenever you have a specific mentality, I see a lot of time that happens with the left is, oh, you think like that? Okay, we're going to add somebody that almost thinks like that. We're going to add it to your opinion and going to be like, oh, you're evil. It's like, it's a very stupid way of seeing things. It's like somebody says, hey, I like candy. And I come by, what? You like candy? Well, you can eat candy with pizza. So I believe they're both the same level of delicious. You know, pizza can also be sweet like a candy. Yay, it fixed. But they're eating the same. No, they don't belong with each other. So there are certain right-wing people and certain right-wing people and left-wing, feminists. Come on. But no, it's like, let's label something negative that kind of looks like them. That's not the way to talk about the discussion. Because if you want to talk, you're already watching from a lens when we're here. You pick that point to put it, you already have a negative way of seeing things. And that's a very bad thing. And that's why it's so hard to talk with people that have this lens and you try to convince them of their point of view. It's almost impossible. Because if you try, you're killing them emotionally. It's my fault.
In terms of some of the issues, I mean, you say you've been painted as an extreme right winger.
No, some people have tried that, not very successfully, but we've tried it.
And you came to prominence in part over your opposition to this law that we just talked about in Canada, proposing the use of preferred pronouns for transgender people. Just for clarity,
Mandating them.
Yeah,
right.
Saying that you should do it.
No, you should. What? No. I've never been in a world that you can tell somebody you have to talk that way. The only person that ever told me to talk in a specific way is church people that said, hey man, stop using the profanity. Hey man, stop asking certain questions about the past. That is the furthest people went. Or maybe don't offend your boss because if he's offended, he might fire you. But nobody ever told me, other than, hey, sir or miss, when I have deep respect for that person, tell me, hey, you, she, or they, or whatever all these words that have been created in the last few years. Why? It's always, I'm going to ask for this, but I'm going to get this and this and this. And if you try to stop me, misogyny. Come on, bruh.
Had to do it.
Right, you had to do it by law. But just for clarity, do you think a trans woman is a real woman?
See? What did I tell you about the stupid label? It's all about they picking the label, blah, 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 blah. He's just trying to say, you can't tell me what to say. But it's already, let's label something guilt. So everybody watching this is already watching through a lens of guilt.
I don't really like the way those questions are formulated. Now, I don't know what that means. What do you mean a real woman?
Well, I'm asking you, in your mind, you know, it depends what you think a real woman is, but do you think a trans woman is a woman?
No.
No.
Hey.
Why not?
Because I think that women are capable, generally speaking, of having babies, and they have female genitalia, and they have an XX chromosome, and I think the biological markers are relevant.
I believe that too. But you know what's even weirder? I said this before to not a bi, what was it? What was it? Non-binary. To a non-binary. You know what she told me? She told me, well, not all women, the way you're saying, can have a baby. I'm like, miss, I'm talking about the organ. If it's working or not, that doesn't matter to me. I can still have the hetero funky with you. So by my standard, you're a woman. Because by your standard, just because I put something in somebody, you're going to be like sex. So you can also go have it with a man. No. There's a difference. She is a woman with a woman organ down there. And that's why I think it's a woman. Not because she can have a baby or not. Okay? What do you think? You're going to tell me that a woman that can't breastfeed, I'm going to be like, you can't be a mommy? Nah.
Necessarily mean that I don't think that people should be treated with respect and dignity if they happen not to fit easily into a gender category. That's a different issue.
You can look some of my aunties. They're not the most hourglass people. They still feel like a woman. Inside, they identify and act like a woman. They don't care how people see them. They feel beautiful. It's this whole media thing and social media make you guys so damaged that you can't even feel comfortable in your own body. And instead of looking at the media, hey, maybe that is wrong. No, you're just gonna go look at people around you and blame them because that makes you feel good. You're an independent, strong woman. You're falling in a very dark, deep trap. I'm not gonna be part of it. That's all I'm saying. But I have certain people that ask me, friends, that, hey, can you use they? I feel more comfortable. And I said, sure. And I use it. In a debate, they understand I get heated. I might say he or she in the wrong way because I'm not used to it. I want my friends to feel comfortable. But you can't come condescending, I'm a she. I'm like, dude, I don't know who you are. And if I have to be honest, the person that I was talking to didn't look that feminine. So how should I know when to use he or she? You're not even allowed to make mistakes. I feel like I'm going to kill somebody almost. That's not even, it's not even comfortable talking to a woman that is so negative, about to explode. I'm like walking on eggshells. And now I have to be careful which gender pronoun I use. Nah, man, I don't want to be your friends anymore because that's so taxing to my brain. One mistake, brah.
Right.
But it's a matter of definition. And I actually think it's a foolish argument in some sense. Because what do you mean by real?
Well, I mean, you've just clarified that, though. You don't think.
No, he said, what do you mean by real? No, you don't get an answer. I already know. That's what. Oh, I get what you said. You already clarified it. What do you mean? Why can she ask a question? You respond like this. You send one back, but you made it clear. Thank you. And I'm like, that's why I don't like the social justice stuff. I realize they want you to talk to feel that you justify the argument by trying to dissect it. And there comes a point I just stop dissecting. What's the point if you're not having an honest conversation?
That a trans woman is a woman. And do you think that is what is behind or explains your opposition to this idea of a law mandating you to use a preferred pronoun is because you don't actually believe that that's the truth, that a trans woman is a woman and therefore you can't use that pronoun?
No. See, what did I tell you? It's all about labeling. It's all about labeling. He's talking about one thing, and this lady is talking about something different. Look, she was like looking away like, hey, I need to focus on the topic that I need to focus that he wants to deny because that makes me feel that I'm right and the viewers that are watching through that specific lens. People, this is damaging people mentally. And I'm really bothered by it. Because remember, they dressed my two-year-old son like a princess. Oh, we are just having fun. Hey, man.
That's not my argument at
Really?
all. Yeah, really. My argument is that the
I know what
government
your
shouldn't
argument
compel
is.
voluntary speech.
No, but I know what your argument is.
Oh,
and
no,
you've
but
made
that's
it very
really
clearly.
it. No, but that's exactly it. There's
But the
no behind.
motivation
There's
behind
no motivation behind it.
But
Motivation. There's always like a motivation that I can see. What do you think? Do you really think I'm going to go to all the married women? Hey, what's your motivation? Do you want a salary, prenuptial agreement or not? What is your motivation? Come on, people. You can't live in a world, always go by... Do you think I go after my son? What is your motivation, baby? Come on, man. You can't live like that. You will go crazy with time. You will stress.
I wouldn't put everything on my online in my life to take the stance I did unless I had thought that through very deeply. And I've thought it through very deeply. There aren't hidden motivations that have to do with some arbitrary prejudice against trans people.
Hey.
It's pure and simply this. There's never been a time in English common law history where the government compelled speech, and the Canadian government dared to do that. And that was unacceptable. And they masked it with this show of compassion for the oppressed, and I don't buy it.
Right, but you would, as I think you said, at an individual level, if somebody asked you, somebody asked you to use a particular pronoun, you would do so.
Well, I have.
Yeah, see? It's common sense that if somebody prefers, you will try your best. But the fact that a whole freaking society can mandate something like that, no, I need to understand the world. I need to understand the world. So you cannot just come into my face, hey, I want to be called, okay, I will try my best. But if you make a mistake because you're more surrounded by hetero people, for example, why is it my fault? Why can't you be more compassionate that I can be like, hey, you know what? I met a transgender person. I made some mistakes. Next time I'll do my best. But no, you're going to tell me a story. Yeah, but at school this happened. And then I'm like, I know it happened certain way. But I can go blame all the women in my past on my wife for something like that. Stupid people exist. You can't make laws based on stupid people to place on Everybody. No wonder you're gonna get so much pushback. But you don't realize that. That's what bothers me.
You have? Right,
Yes.
fine.
Yes.
Let's talk about feminism. Are you a feminist?
No.
No, not as it's currently defined.
Hey,
certainly
good
not.
point,
No.
good point.
Well, in any other definition?
Well, I think that anybody who doesn't think that the competitive landscape should be opened up for equality of opportunity is not thinking. And so everyone's interests are better served if people have as equal access to opportunity to display their talents and to manifest their talents in the world as possible. So in that sense, certainly. But feminism now, and this is why it's so deeply unpopular, a very small minority of women in the UK identify as feminists. And the reason for that is it's primarily become an ideological weapon. And it's an ideology that I detest, actually.
Me too.
The ideology that it's associated with, collectivist ideology.
Right. I mean, okay, and that's your view about feminism. Aisha, are you a feminist?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a very proud feminist. And when I was a special advisor in government, I worked on women and equality issues. And I was very proud, actually, of a piece of legislation I got on the statute book with my former boss, Harriet Harman, the Equality Act in 2010, which strengthened our anti-discrimination laws. And I fought very hard to get more women into public life, into the Labour Party. And I'm very, very proud of being a feminist, hence my pink dress.
Oh, well, all right.
We're defining genders again. So you can use that. Can we use that too? I can dress pink. I'm a feminine too. Or is it a masculine thing? Or you're gonna shame me for dressing like a woman? How does that work? I don't know. It's a little off topic, but it has happened. It has happened before. You wanna buy some clothes? Only pink clothes, Tara. I don't want to buy. I wanna buy for my boy. I want him to dress a little more. Well, boys can dress pink too. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's a little more feminine. No, all boys needs to be feminine. Okay. But I want my boy to feel more comfortable because if he sees pinks, he can walk next to girls. He can think he's a girl. I don't know. These questions are going to ask, yeah, but why? Why isn't it normal? I'm like, why are you talking like that about my kid? Why don't you make your own? Why do you always try to paint the nails of my son? Why? What's wrong with you? It's all these weird pushing things that I sometimes see in Spain, and I'm glad certain people are like, hey man, let me just educate my kid with something that I'm comfortable with. Not with something that I can experiment that is so bad and negative that causes so many suicides. I don't know, man. It's just a weird snowball going down the hill, and you're gonna tell me, yeah, but if you were empathetic, it would have been okay. Nah, man. If my son wants to do something like that, Gucci, on his time. I'm not the father that's going to kick my son out of his house. But I'm going to be the father that's going to educate what I think is right. And whatever he decides, he can be good with it. I will always love my son. But you can't place this stuff on kids. Duh.
Version to type then in the pink dress.
Absolutely. Well,
you would like men to regain or reclaim their strength physically,
Yes.
mentally and morally. Is that broadly
Yes.
correct?
I would say morally, fundamentally, but I think the other things go along with that.
Right. And if that
But it isn't men precisely who I'm speaking to. It's people. I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm actually interested in individuals, and I'm interested in their fortification against tragedy. You know, every time I do an interview, the interview is always political. It's always political.
Well,
And
the clue is in the title of this program. We are the Daily
Oh,
Politics.
no, fair enough. No, look, fair enough. And I'm not casting aspersions at this program, but the fundamental news that's important about what I'm doing isn't the political element. And the people who talk to me don't talk politically.
You know what's really weird? I'm sorry that I cut the video because I think it's a very interesting subject, but I just wanted to point something out. Oh no, I lost the thing that I just wanted to say. Yes. So, the way that he's talking is making certain men feel more comfortable to express themselves, not in the emotional way that the whole media and left wing right now want men to express, just to be more confident in themselves because we don't have shelters for men. Very little. All the people on the streets drunk and everything, there's our men. Everybody that commits suicide centers and everything, there's so little help for men. He only provides a dialogue so we can solve ourselves, and for some odd reason, these are men suffering, feeling alone. They sometimes say some horrible words because they feel frustrated, but immediately those are the men that beat women. And it's like, oh, this group, this small group, they belong to this guy. Oh my God, that is negative. He is motivating this small group. And it bothers me. It really bothers me because the amount of help feminists give certain ladies, right? And the response we get when he even try to assist, ask for equality or whatever, it's damaging. It's like, what? Why did you ask that? It bothers me. Why? Why are you so pushed back against men with issues, but you believe that you can raise a boy to be a decent man? Nah, man, I'm not saying that you can, but the fact that you push things away so easily, it's so disingenuous if you want equality. That's my point.
They say they've watched my lectures.
But part
and
of
that
it is that I think for a lot of people the kind of personal does become the political.
Or the political becomes the personal.
Yeah, and I think in terms of the...
Yeah, but in this situation, a lot of people are wrong because primarily what's happening is people are watching my lectures, and as a consequence, their lives are improving dramatically.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I'm sure people are like, have had a huge conversion after.
Even the small group.
And they're much happier once they've been.
It's not a conversion.
But what I would like to do...
Why would you use those words? You know? Why would you use those words? Do you think when a lady goes to a feminist center and she's happy, I never use the word conversion. You always label words to make it seem like somebody is controlling us to do their bidding. I would not be surprised with the way certain ladies talk to me that I'm like, damn, you didn't convert them, but they certainly seem to try to convert me to be the right man.
Is kind of almost, I think at the moment the discussion about feminism is very divisive, and sometimes it can sort of be like, okay, men have to lose and women have to gain. Actually, everybody has a lot to gain by greater equality. Now, whether you get the equality of outcome that you want, I think only time will tell. But certainly, equality of opportunity is very important. And actually,
we can agree on that.
a lot of men would benefit from that. So I think a lot of men are having a lot of crises at the moment in terms of mental health, suicide issues, their own sense of identity, because I think some of the stereotypes put on men are quite limiting for them as well. I think they make men quite unhappy as well.
The devil's in the details with regards to equality, because I'm an advocate of equality of opportunity. But
and
I think
outcomes.
the idea outcomes, that's an appalling doctrine.
Why?
What do you mean, why? No. No. Look at me. I got the opportunity. I have a family. I got 2 kids. I got a wife. It's outcome, right? I didn't have a mom. That's my opportunity. I wanted it so much and nobody helped me. If people help me, I feel that if it didn't work, I'm going to be like, I deserve this. Nobody helped me. I just realized nobody cares. At 10 years old, nobody cares. I just focused on myself. And now I have reason to fight my 2 kids, which is even better. I'm more motivated. Everybody sees my kids, oh, they're so chill, they're so relaxed. I invest. I spend so much time with my kids when they're small. Not when they're 10 or 14 or 16. Oh my God, they're so aggressive. Dude, they're a copy of you. If you were there, they would not copy the TV. If they watch TV and they see something they didn't like, they can be like, but Papa ain't like that. It's your child. Why did you make him then? To go to work and be happy so people can see them on Facebook?
All right. Well, hang on.
Because you have to produce an unbelievably potent bureaucracy to make the ever greater and ever finer distinctions that are necessary to enforce equality of outcome. How many group differences are you going to equalize across? Is it just gender and sex? How many genders?
No, so
gender and ethnicity? How many genders?
I think
how many
what
ethnicities?
people are-
How many races?
We'll let Aisha answer.
I think what people are trying to do with this, and certainly as somebody who has looked to sought to sort of do this myself, I think you set yourself ambitions for what you would like to see, and then you try and remove as many of the structural barriers and obstacles. So you try and create that fair crack of the whip and that equality of opportunity to see where you get to with the outcomes.
That's
now,
fine.
we are in very early stages. It's only 100 years since women got the vote in this country. We have had a long established patriarchal society and set up for a long time in the world, in this country. So I think we have a long way to go to see where it plays out. There is no country in the world where we really do have gender equality properly yet, in terms of real decision making and real
Some of the
power.
Scandinavian countries,
But
maybe?
they're still not quite there, and I think
All
you've
right.
spoken a lot about this. There's still a way to go in Scandinavia. Things are not perfect in
I
Scandinavia
haven't
at
spoken
all.
about that specifically. I've spoken about
You spoke about the right stuff yesterday. You talked about the
Well,
Scandinavian.
I've spoken about the fact that, see, one of the things that's happened in the analysis of the differences between men and women is that the social constructionist claim is that the differences are socially constructed, right? Is that it's a consequence of environment that men and women differ. But what the scientific literature indicates is that as cultures become more egalitarian,
I got caught off guard. When he mentioned egalitarian, I started thinking and I realized, oops, I didn't even add my reaction, so I decided to add this part. So, egalitarian is a way that believing in or based on the principle that all people are equal and deserve equal rights and opportunities. And I do believe you need that. The problem is when you give everybody more opportunities, okay? Like they say, hey, well, now you can go to the army too. The fact that you can go now to the army, or whatever, this is just an example, but the fact that you can go, it starts to prove that we're like, damn, you can do this, damn, you can do that. So the more rights or the more things you try to pretend or reach a level of a male, the more there's going to be possibility that I'm going to be like, I was right anyway. For example, there's many powerful positions right now that women out-earn men. And you're going to be like, what? Really? How is that possible? Because the government is opening the doors more for women. Which makes me realize, oh, so you were hiring 7 women and you were hiring 3 men. Okay? And you're going to be, hey, power to us. Yeah, we're up there. I'm like, yes, because you had to hire it like that. But if we compare what the guy studied to the woman what they studied, we're going to be like, she didn't study that much. She just finished here. The guy studied 7 years. You choose her? Yes, because equality for the woman. But I'm like, that's not fair. I remember I got fired at a job because a lady decided to come back from her maternity leave. Equality, right? But I'm like, you hired me because she left. Because she said she's not gonna have a baby. And she got pregnant. And when she came back, she got pregnant again and left within 3 months. And it was like, dude, what the heck was that? Look, man, you can provide equality. It's all good. It just proves to me we're taking care of certain people, not all women, because there's some gangster women out there, just like my wife, but they're at such a level that you're like, if it wasn't for your own job and preferences, I would have kept my job. It isn't fair, but I accept it. You know why? Because I know if I complain, I'm gonna be a misogynist. That's why I didn't say anything. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Reaction video, I never did one so long. So this might happen, but I can always edit my opinion. But wait, there's even more. I just remember this. A family member of mine has her own freaking business, okay? About shaving and everything, make a woman look clean or whatever, okay? But suddenly she hired a bunch of ladies and she kept telling me, I keep hiring women, they keep quitting because they suddenly have a bunch of money in their pockets, they feel comfortable, boom, they're pregnant. maternity leave, but she still has to pay them a specific insurance. She doesn't pay them to be on maternity leave, but she still has to keep paying them insurance. And the insurance that she's keeping paying, she was like, I'm paying for like 6 women on maternity leave. What the heck is happening? And that was the first time I saw her as a feminist. She was like, this system is messed up. I finally agree with men. This isn't fair. She realized that she was in such a huge debt, but she had to show compassion for people that were happy to find a job, to get pregnant and take care of the system in a way that it wasn't her advantage. You know what happened to her? She went bankrupt. Look, man, I don't make the rules, but most of these people that experience this, they're silent, even women, because if they open their mouth, patriarchy. There you go.
Scandinavia, the differences between men and women actually increase rather than decreasing, which is a direct repost to the social constructionist view. So they just deny all that. The biggest differences in the world in interest and temperament are between Scandinavian men and women. It's exactly the opposite of what everyone predicted.
Can I just pick up on one thing you said a little earlier in the interview, which you said it's the moral guidance that you are focused on. You think that is particularly important. How do you square that with the behaviour of perhaps arguably, you know, a prominent alpha male president of the United States, Donald Trump?
Donald Trump is Sigma, but let's keep on going. I had to add a joke that she set me up.
When his behaviour, I mean, he is accused of having an affair with a porn star when his wife was pregnant. How does that fit with morally reclaiming?
Well, I would say that was rather clearly immoral.
Right.
Yeah,
but you would still,
not to be a target for emulation.
But you still would have voted for him over Hillary Clinton.
Whoa, you want to go there? Look, lady, I'm going to tell you my honest freaking opinion. There is 2 things you have to choose from, but one thing I don't like. I prefer somebody that is a bastard, but when we go to war, he will fight like a bastard. I don't want somebody that says he's not a bastard, but says, hey man, in the war, I'll be a bastard with you. You know? And then laugh the way she's always laughing. Look, man, I don't like liars. I don't like lies. I'm not saying that you can't be annoying, in my face, direct, narcissistic, but at least I know what I can expect from somebody with that type of mentality. I can't predict what Hillary does. She said she was on her freaking laptop, right? Doing gangster stuff normally. They caught information, used that information to kill people in Africa or something weird like that. They died. When they wanted to investigate the thing, FBI deleted the file, something weird like that. That's why she lost. That's why I hated her with a passion, politically, not as a person, politically. Don't come like, he said that, he hate women. You can just cut that clip. Oh my God, misogyny. Look, man, do whatever you freaking want. But the point is, it's just stupid. You can't be a liar. Nobody likes a liar. She blew her own academy. So if you're gonna tell me, if I want a guy that funky with a prawn star, hey man, I don't care what he does in his bed. Take care of the freaking country. But don't lie for the freaking country to make you look good with a very good smile, and you're gonna be like, this is for feminism. Nah, man, I'm not down for that.
As fair, an identity politics. I mean, it's just how
none
do
of that
you
was on the table, and I said I might have voted for him on a whim. That's all.
But you also did say you started out feeling quite close to Hillary Clinton. Can I just come on the
very quickly, because we've got to move on.
In a way, I don't care what Trump does in terms of his private life, but what I don't have is him stopping or potentially stopping other women having agency over their reproductive rights, and lots of men taking those decisions.
It's all about where the moral outrage lies and what's more morally outrageous.
Well, then before you can stop this, I'm gonna give my gangster opinion. If you're gonna have talk about the moral bada bing bada boom of the woman and the things bada bing bada bam, I'm gonna talk what is the moral decision about the baby that is there, that they don't even have a choice to be freaking there, and you're gonna tell me, yo man, we need to get you out because you made the person that made the decision to accidentally make you uncomfortable. My moral decision, that is bad. I mean, in a world that we have so many protective things that we can do, right? And usually most of them are freaking free. How do you keep getting pregnant? You're not in freaking Africa, dude. Or some weird gangster third world country that doesn't even know about the possibility. But you keep getting pregnant. That's my point. That proves my point. That the people that have the possibility to stop certain things, the privileged people, they make more mistake than the people in third world country. Because they don't know what consequence is. You're making people that don't have that feeling. I don't think that's good for any society. Okay, I think I gave my point of view. I was a little more active. Damn, this video is freaking long. Whew. Well, I'll just post this. Let's see what happens. If you guys like it, I will try to watch more. There's so much content. I don't want to be designing my videos to be too short or too long or whatever. I just want to be open to do smoothly whatever I want, you know? I mean, that's what makes me feel good. It helps me with my MS to just talk my mind in a chill way, not super screaming. And it's okay. It feels good. Especially in this weird lockdown that I am right now. Because I'm locked down because of COVID, right? My son got COVID. Well, he was in a class with COVID. And, you know, oh my God, you know, a COVID infected. Oh my God. Well, he knows one. So now I know him. So everybody stay in the house 10 days locked. For the safety of humanity. Anyway, let me know what you guys think by the likes and everything. I will decide if I will make more of these videos. Maybe too long, but who knows. Maybe you guys might like this. Peace.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam turloqueta verdeta welcome. Den bida mi a tu iniciativa, padrei ku indica e também que sung sativa. Te ainda no que acepta ku eta medicina Bob di nang di eta causa rebeldia. Cooking